What if I told you an HOA secretly sold 2,200 acres of land and thought no one would ever find out? Not a small lot, not unused property. Thousands of acres that belonged to the community. Gone. And the people responsible? Living comfortably inside $12 million mansions, protected by gates, lawyers, and silence. This isn't just a story about corruption. It's about what happens when the wrong people believe they're untouchable. It began with something that didn't make sense. A road that suddenly ended. Property lines that quietly shifted. Access points that were never there, according to the HOA. At first, it felt like a mistake, until the explanations kept changing. Every question led to another excuse. Every request met with delay. And that's when I realized something critical. When people in power avoid simple answers, they're usually hiding something. They didn't expect. I decided to stop asking and start proving. Public records don't lie, but they do hide in plain sight. Deeds, zoning maps, transaction filings, documents most homeowners never look at. As I compared old surveys to new ones, the truth surfaced slowly, almost reluctantly. Entire sections of land had been transferred, not leased, not reallocated, sold. Sold without a vote, sold without disclosure, sold illegally. 2,200 acres vanished on paper, while everyone else was distracted by fines and newsletters. And where did the money go? That question changed everything. HOA funds are supposed to be transparent, but these accounts weren't just messy, they were deliberately confusing. Shell entities, consulting fees, development reimbursements. Every trail led away from the community and straight toward luxury. Mansions expanded, properties upgraded, lifestyles inflated. While homeowners were told budgets were tight, the board was living like royalty. The moment they realized I knew, everything changed. Emails stopped, meetings were canceled, legal language replaced conversation. The HOA shifted from confident to aggressive, hoping intimidation would shut this down. Violation notices appeared, threats followed. But pressure only works when someone is afraid, and I wasn't. Instead of backing down, I hired a legal team and filed the first demand for records. That single action triggered panic behind closed doors. Depositions revealed contradictions. Board members couldn't explain their own signatures. Approval documents didn't match bylaws. Authority they claimed simply didn't exist. And once the court got involved, the power balance flipped instantly. Subpoenas don't care about status. Judges don't care about mansions. The law only cares about facts. And the facts were devastating. The assets started freezing. Bank accounts were locked, transactions reversed, the land sale was challenged and suspended, insurance providers pulled coverage, legal fees skyrocketed, and suddenly those $12 million mansions weren't symbols of success, they were liabilities. Homes once hidden behind gates were now tied to investigations, liens, and public scrutiny. The fallout was brutal and precise. Board members resigned one by one. Emergency meetings turned chaotic. Homeowners packed rooms demanding answers that never came. The same HOA that once fined people over trash cans couldn't explain where millions of dollars went. The illusion of control collapsed in real time. No one saw coming. This wasn't revenge driven by anger, it was revenge driven by law. The sale was declared invalid. The land reverted. Funds were recovered. New leadership was installed. And investigations didn't stop at civil court. What began as a quiet abuse of power became a public reckoning. Some former board members faced criminal inquiries. Others watched as their luxury properties hit the market, not by choice, but by necessity. In the end, this story isn't about land or mansions. It's about accountability. About what happens when everyday people stop assuming someone else is watching. Because the truth is, power only survives in silence. The moment someone decides to look closer, ask harder questions, and refuse to be intimidated, everything changes. They sold the land thinking no one would fight back. They were wrong.